Good morning, guys. My name is Sean Dexter, and I welcome you to the Mango Grove for your daily analysis video. In today's video, we'll be doing something different. We'll be starting off the week with an Ethereum analysis. I do believe that Ethereum is doing something special. At the very least, it's doing something that's going to be worth keeping an eye on going into the end of December, going into the beginning of 2021. Hey, perhaps even a little bit sooner. Ethereum may be more explosive than even Chainlink in this potential guys, altcoin rally. So we do have some interesting things to talk about today. But hey, before we start, I do want to give every one of you a heads up that Krisha and I won't be doing any videos towards the last 3 weeks of this month. So essentially, this would be the last week, right, of the year that we'll be doing daily videos. We will be leaving on vacation towards the end of this week, all the way towards the end of the year. And hey, it's not that we won't be around at all. We will definitely be on Discord. So please go ahead and join the new Discord community that we have set up. We are transitioning from Telegram to Discord. And one of the reasons that I wanted to transition was for this organization and for the ability for me to post charts to you guys in a more structured and organized way, right? So I will likely be doing analysis, but in a more written format. And if possible, alright, if Krisha doesn't smack me on the head for attempting to do so, perhaps live streams through Discord, because, and this was one of the biggest reasons I wanted to switch to Discord from Telegram, was because I could literally hop on over to Discord, share my screen, and live stream to all of you guys if I do have some quick thoughts and ideas that I would want to share with you guys, right? So last year, while we were on the beach and while we were doing the analysis on the beach, it was cool and fun, but it was a pain in the ass to upload it to YouTube and do the rendering, because hey, you don't get the best internet while you're on the beach. So let's go ahead and get started now. We're going to be starting with a theme, and man, it's a gorgeous day outside. The birds are out, the birds are chirping, man, they're parrots, there's some purple birds flying around too. It's such a gorgeous Christmas month, and I have to say I am so glad that I'm no longer in Canada for these Christmases. I mean, 12 years of snowy Christmases were good enough for me. I don't need any more of those, alright? I witnessed enough of them, I experienced enough of them. They were great, but moving forward, it's going to be only beach life Christmas for me. And hey, with that being said, let's go ahead and get started with our Ethereum charts. And hey, we're going to be doing something again a little bit more different, starting off with the Bitcoin pairing on Ethereum as opposed to the USD pairing. We're looking at the monthly chart right over here. As usual, I should probably talk about the dashboard, right? So the dashboard, by the way, guys, is available at app.mangoresearch.co. And as you guys can see, ETHUSD is up 50% almost, right? The last time we got the reversal signal, the long signal, was all the way November 7th. So we're literally now a month where we had to do literally nothing but sit and watch this trade develop itself, much like the Bitcoin pairing, right? Bitcoin USD, the last time we got the signal was all the way back in October 22nd. And if you guys have been watching these daily videos, you guys know that I've been saying that, hey, Ethereum is following a similar path to Bitcoin, although it's lagging behind by a few weeks, right? Around 3 to 4 weeks. And we're seeing that over here too on the dashboard, because there was a time when Bitcoin was sitting around 45% to 50%, all we had to do was be patient, and it went up another 15% since, right? I think Ethereum might be doing something similar. So let's go ahead now, look at the Btc chart, guys, and we're looking at the monthly. When did we get bullish on Ethereum? It was based on the monthly pairing, on the Bitcoin pairing as well as the USD pairing, and it was right after we started closing candles above the zone over here, right? We can go ahead and put a horizontal right over here. Go ahead and do it, guys, because I'm going to do it, but I don't want to, because I already have horizontals placed right over there. As you guys can see, I have a zone over there marked, and it's coming in at, for your reference, if you guys want to place this horizontal on your charts, it's at 0.02714797, right? Somewhere around there, place a horizontal. I'm going to go ahead and hide mine. And you're going to see that as soon as Bitcoin closed a candle above there, that's when we got bullish on, when Ethereum closed a candle above there on the Bitcoin pairing, that's when we got bullish long term on Ethereum against Bitcoin. And we're like, all right, cool. This warrants taking a position on Ethereum for a longer hodl. Now, you guys know that the only trades I'm doing this on is, or rather the only altcoins I'm doing this on is Ethereum and Chainlink. At the way things are currently standing, Ethereum is looking much better than Chainlink. Now, we all know Chainlink may explode at any time, but it's not done so just yet. It's still currently sitting at support. Let me know in the comments down below if you guys want a dedicated Ethereum video, but please don't be selfish and greedy with asking for too much, because if I do a Chainlink video, I can't do something else, right? I have a busy week in terms of packing and getting prepped for vacation. So let me know if you guys want Ethereum, Bitcoin, or Chainlink. And accordingly, I'll try to do one of the three tomorrow. Okay, so with that being said, Ethereum on the monthly looking great against Bitcoin. Came and smacked up against resistance over here as well, but not a death sentence at all, because we're still putting in high lows on the monthly pairing. I do like this. It's not a definitive strong trend just yet. I'd like to see Ethereum close monthly candles above this zone over here between 0.036 to 0.0382. That being said, though, on the weekly time frame, we're going to drill down to a lower time frame, and I want to show you guys something very, very special that Ethereum just confirmed on the weekly time frame against the Ichimoku template. And those of you who are on the C program, you guys know exactly what I'm about to talk about. And it's this Kumo twisting green right over here. You guys know what this means for the long-term implications for Ethereum as long as this holds. Especially if you see two candle closes where the cloud begins to start widening up green, I am going to get extremely bullish on Ethereum long-term. We still do have resistance overhead. I do not want to fail or neglect to point that out to you guys, all right? This is not a definitive we are about to explode just yet. Okay, we have resistance against the Tenkin right over here. We have Kijun underneath us, which is a good sign. We still have the 200 moving average overhead as well. Cloud resistance all the way up at 0.05. The exponential 200 EMA is likely overhead as well. And there we go, right overhead. This purple line over here is the 200 exponential. This red line over here, guys, is the 200 simple moving average. They are both still overhead resistance. So Ethereum has not cleared any of that just yet. We have Tenkin resistance, exponential moving average resistance long term, by the way, as well as simple moving average resistance, and the cloud is still red, right? However, this Kumo twisting green over here is the early signal that, hey, we want to start paying attention. All of us know how Bitcoin gave us something very, very similar, and how paid off for us to start getting into position, start getting aggressive, and having the right mindset, knowing when to buy dips, knowing when to stay away from pumps, right? That's where the cloud really, really shines. Speaking of which, I want to quickly go over something with you guys on the 4-day time frame. As you guys know, or if you guys remember rather, a couple of months ago, I pointed out to you guys how the cloud had flipped green on the 4-day time frame. Similar to how the cloud had flipped, or rather has flipped green on the weekly time frame today, the cloud had flipped green on the 4-day time frame a couple of months ago, and we talked about how we are going to start looking to build a position on the ETH-USD pairing in accordance to the cloud flipping green over here, right? And we got the big move on Ethereum BTC against the USD pairing, because even though we were looking at the Bitcoin pairing, we are trading it on the USD pairing. And again, I urge all of you, okay, even if you aren't trading it against the Bitcoin pairing, keeping an eye on ETH BTC will allow you to have that much more conviction on your trade. So the first big sign for us on the 4-day time frame was when the cloud had flipped green. And by the way, those of you on the C program, and have watched the cloud module especially, right, you guys know how what this actually means, the implications of this, especially after a long-term red cloud, okay, putting in the bottoming formation like this on the cloud and then flipping, Kumo twisting green like this had strong implications. And that's how you add edge to your trade. That's how you build a holistic picture, holistic story of what could come in the months to come, right? That's why we are always mentally prepared and ready for these big moves on these big trending trades, and that's what we're always hunting for, the big wins, keeps the year stress free. Now we're seeing something similar. Now again, we can forecast and postulate for something very, I don't say similar in terms of the signals we're getting. This is a little bit more complicated and involved. But what am I looking at over here, guys? Why am I bringing up the 4-day again? Not because the cloud had flipped green or has flipped green. Number one, this is the kind of picture we are looking for the weekly time frame to eventually turn into, where the cloud actually goes from red to green, widens up and starts thickening up like this, giving us a flat Kumo underneath. But more importantly, guys, this is what I'm looking for. This is what I'm looking for on the weekly, and we're seeing the first signs on the 4-day time frame, and this in itself is bullish. The Tenkin coming in onto the Kijun, giving us the bearish TK cross, but it is a weak bearish TK cross. The cloud is underneath. The cloud is green. What are we looking for next? The double TK cross. What we are looking for next is essentially, I'll spell it out for you guys, the Tenkin beginning to flip over again like this, the Kijun staying flat, the Tenkin going up like this, us having the double TK bullish cross above the cloud and trending against the Bitcoin pairing again. Resistance still overhead, right? So this is what I'm looking for, and if we do see that unfold, if we get that double TK cross above the cloud, man, oh man, I'm going to be very happy with my theme position. As you guys know, I've been building my theme position ever since around 289, got that dip down to 309, 310, added there, built it throughout the way up, right? Where am I getting my conviction from, guys? It's from things like this, looking at the bigger picture, looking at the higher picture, which is why I always plead with you guys to not let the lower time frames distract you, because the big wins, the easy wins, the wins where you can sit on the beach while enjoying your profits are on the higher time frames. So again, keep an eye on this, guys. It may or may not pan out. Remember, we are simply looking for it to happen so that way we can have more conviction on a trade. Similar to the ETH USD trades that we took or added on to, right? We're like, if this, then that. If we get this, then we'll add. As simple as that. If we don't get it, we don't add, right? It's not about being right. It's not about being wrong. It's knowing what to do if a certain scenario happens. You could be wrong and still make money. We talked about this in a little bit more detail on the Discord yesterday, Sunday, I believe, or was it Saturday? I'm not sure. Again, please go ahead and join the Discord if you guys haven't yet. We do have some great conversations in there. But yeah, going back to what we were talking about, Ethereum looking good. Remember, cloud is now green on the 4-day. Cloud is now green on the weekly as well. Let's go ahead and now switch on over to the USD pairing, because I'm sure that's what you guys are interested in. And I think we've spent way too much time on the at Bitcoin pairing already. Wish we could go on over to the lower time frames, but hey, not enough time for that. So here we have the ETH USD pairing on Coinbase. I believe I charted out this with you guys on the live stream, right? So this is not the official lines that we drew, but I'm going to play around with this because I did do this with you guys, right? Essentially, the big thing that we're looking at is the overhead resistance right over here between 620 to 666. That's the big resistance that we've been looking at ever since this zone over here, since 444. We said that if we break 444, we're likely going to make our way to this box over here, and we did do that. The question in now though is, and this is where it gets a little bit more tricky, this is where it gets hard, do we break this and make our way to our eventual target of $800? This is the big target, because once we crack 800, at that point I'm looking at around 1,300 before we see any real resistance. It gets really volatile. And now you compare, or rather pair this up with what ETH could be doing against the Bitcoin pairing, and the fact that Bitcoin is already in a bull market, a strong bull market. If we see ETH start trending against Bitcoin, it means ETH starts moving better and stronger and more powerful than Bitcoin is currently, we are going to see even 1,300 blow through, right? We're going to see Ethereum go into all new highs. We're going to see Ethereum perhaps get to those big numbers we talked about a couple of months ago. You guys know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to say it over here. Cough, cough, $10,000 Ethereum. Who knows? We'll take it one step at a time. I don't want to sound like a moon boy. Not just yet. I will have my moon boy time. Wait for it though. We're not there yet, guys. We're not there yet. Until we actually crack 666, this is still resistance. And I want to see us crack this on the higher time frame. Does it need to be on the weekly? No. Not when pertaining to Ethereum. With Ethereum, even a daily or a 2-day candle close above that zone, and I'll be looking for that move all the way up to $800. Until then, though, this is still resistance, and we could be looking for move and a retest all the way back to around 400. And so at this current moment, the way I have marked it out, the major resistance line, or rather support line, right, that was resistance that we broke through, is sitting at around 435-ish, okay? That is the major, really good buy opportunity that you could be looking for. But we do have levels above head that I don't have marked on this chart. And one of these levels we were talking about over and over again, and we got the retest of that level already. And that's coming in right over here at 489. If you guys have been following the live streams and paying attention, taking notes, there's something that I just kept on harping on about, and we were very patient with, was this 489 retest. We got it, we bought it, and now you're seeing the blue dots on the Mango Dynamic come up at around $500, which will also be psychological support, right? So we can go ahead and put a horizontal right over there. Now that could be a level that you could be marking, or you could just be patient and be like, you know what, I'm waiting for 434. 434, or I wait for the break of 666, and then I take the trade from 666 all the way to $800, right? It's fine to be doing both, guys. And you know what? I want to talk about this a little bit more before we move on, especially going into this bull market, because I'm sure we're going to see people, one, get hurt, two, miss out on great trade opportunities, all right? So let's say you're looking at price over here, and you're looking at nothing else except support and resistance lines, and you're looking to put on a leverage trade. The one thing you don't want to be doing, okay, if you're looking only at this and nothing else, all right, nothing else, the one thing you don't want to be doing is buying over here with the expectation of price going into 800. Why? Because you have overhead resistance. There is an obstacle in your path. The easier trade is to wait for the obstacle to be surpassed, to be reclaimed, to be overcome, and then take the trade towards the upside. Don't get into your heads, guys, that the lower price you buy, the better the trade. Don't do that. And don't show off to your friends that, hey man, I got in earlier than you did. I got in at a better price. No, if you see another trader talk like that, he is not a real trader, all right? He is immature, and he's going to eventually get hurt in this market. There are two perfectly equal trades to be taking. One, you could simply wait for the mango-like trade, the easier trade, for this level to break, okay? Be patient, wait for the retest, and when you do get the retest, you can take the same trade over here from around 623 or perhaps 650 all the way up to 800, okay? That's a good 26.5%. Or you could avoid the pain of seeing a rejection over here and then seeing yourself getting dumped on all the way to around 500-ish, and then you take the trade over here, right? And how much would that be? That would actually be around the same percent, guys. If you take the trade from around the blue dot on the Mango Dynamic all the way up to the resistance, it's around 25 to 26%. So you're seeing a literal perfect example of the exact same percent win, especially if you are trading on leverage. All you care about is the percent win, because your account equity is going to go up. Your underlying is likely going to be in Bitcoin or Ethereum. I trade on Deribit, so my underlying collateral is in Ethereum. So to me, this is even more relevant, right? I don't care. As long as my Ethereum account keeps going up, I don't care what price I take my leverage trade on, right? Because if I get a 27% win from here to here, or 27% win from here to here, it is the same thing. Now, everything I say kind of falls, I don't say falls apart, but the rules change if you're a trend trader. When you're a trend trader, things change, and we'll talk about that perhaps in a live stream or a separate video. But again, I just don't want you guys to make the psychological mistakes of buying into resistance because and only because you think you're buying at a lower price and your eventual target is 800. It can't be as cut and dry as that. That is yeah, just don't do that, guys. Anyways, let's go ahead and talk about some more technical analysis. All right, so we were looking at the weekly before I went into that long ramble, and we're looking at this zone over here, right, between 624 to 666. Clearly, we have not cracked it. You can see that even on the daily time frame, we are failing to even close a single daily candle above it. So this is going to be key. One way to be front running a weekly trade is to be looking for 2 daily candle closes into the zone over here, or hey, if you want to be even more patient, above the zone over here, right? We talked about how 2 daily candle closes above 666, and we have a nice trade all the way up to around $800, right? Around 795 to be exact. Okay, so on the daily time frame, we can go ahead and mark out some key levels, and we already talked about a few of these that also lined up on the weekly, which is 489. Okay, that's the one we bought already. You can adjust this a little bit lower and you could have got 485, but you guys know that I marked out 489 because I was looking at the weekly. If you were looking at the daily, this is an example of how you can get a little bit more aggressive by looking at a lower time frame. And you could have marked out the daily candle closes over here, and you'll likely got the wick, right? But that's I don't like to nitpick like that. I'm going to keep my horizontal over there. And now moving on from over here, since that level has already been tested, we do have a candle close level right over here at around 520-ish, right? Now, you can go ahead and mark that out as a zone between 489 and 520-ish, and you could get some good trades off that, but I'm not really too interested in that. To me, what is really key are these levels over here, because if you guys do remember, right, keep these numbers in your head, guys. When you're marking out levels on the weekly time frame, you do want to remember them, especially when you spot them on the daily. And on the daily, we've been talking about 555 to 565 constantly. So this is how I'm going to be looking at it. If we violate 555 again on the daily time frame and we close a candle underneath over here, even if we close 2 12-hour candles, I'm going to be looking for that move down to 520 first and then eventually down to 489. So I hope that doesn't happen, but we have to be ready for that to happen. On the flip side, we may not get the entire move and we may end up putting in an ascending triangle, right? What do I mean by that exactly? Essentially, we break 555 and then the bulls step in, and they step in somewhere around here where we get the wick on over to this level at around 511-ish, wick on over to it, close somewhere around here, put in a ascending triangle on either the candle closes or the wicks, we don't know which one, and then we look for a bullish consolidation before breaking this towards the upside. Okay, now again, this is us like looking a little bit too far into the future, but it's something to be ready for if those support and resistance levels fail, but the trend still manages to hold itself, right? With that, actually, let's now go look at the 4-hour time frame. You guys know I don't often do look at these, but Ethereum has been respecting the higher level resistance and support lines on the lower time frames, and right over here you guys can see that, right? On the 4-hour too, this weekly level has not been violated. In fact, we talked about how 555 was not violated even on the 1-hour time frame, and you can see that right over here too. It was perfect, right? This entire period over here, and what the exact level is 565. So again, don't get too nitpicky, but the theme has been very methodical even on the lower time frames. And I wonder what's going on over here. Is there anything else of note that we could mark out? We can go ahead and just draw horizontal right over here actually, and actually it does line up over here. We can go ahead and adjust it a tad bit more to get these guys as well. So what is this coming in at? 560-ish. So 560-ish is going to be a key level. It also, in a way, marks out the lower. We can go ahead and get really cute with this, right? Okay, so if you guys want to play the lower time frames, and I don't recommend it, I definitely won't be, especially this week. I am getting ready for vacation mode, and I won't be touching any of this. But if you guys are interested, there's some really good trades over here on the 4-hour time frame. 2 4-hour candle closes underneath this zone over here, and we could be looking for a move eventually all the way down to this zone over here at around 490-ish. We do have a level that we may pit stop at and put in a higher low at right over here at around 521. And yeah, so that's essentially how we may end up seeing this play out. Now we may actually bounce over here, kind of like how we talked about on the daily time frame, and put in a ascending like triangle, and you'll see this get really ugly on the lower time frames but still hold structure on the higher time frame. So this is something to be keeping an eye out if you're interested in playing the lower time frames. Major levels though either way is around 555, eventually down to 490ish, then eventually down to 433ish, but this is considering Ethereum actually breaks these levels. On the upside, we have 622 as your first major level. Then we have 666 as the level we want Ethereum to crack on the daily time frame, at least 2 daily candles. If we see that, I'll be looking for that big move all the way up to 800. Of course, the big candle close above that level is going to be on the weekly time frame. If we get that, definitely going to be looking for that move to around 800. Alright, so let's wrap up quickly with a quick look at Bitcoin USD. We're looking at the weekly time frame over here. Over the live stream on this weekend, I covered how I'm essentially looking at only this zone towards the upside and this zone towards the downside. Yes, it is a big range over here, essentially between 20,000 and all the way down to 14,000. But I'm also looking at this major level over here at around 11,900. Essentially, it is a combination of various levels across various time frames that you guys can go ahead and mark out on your levels too. I don't know if we're going to meet it or not. I'm watching these primarily because I, again, will be going on vacation and I'm going to be making my trading as stress-free as possible. And hey, those are usually the times where you get the easiest trades. As long as you're willing to keep it easy, you can get the easier trades. Now, going back on over to the weekly, we are sitting up against resistance. We had a really good weekly close, but not a spectacular close. What I think people are failing to notice, right, is that we close again underneath last week's high. Now, that's not a death sentence, or that's not like a terrible thing at all, right? In fact, this candle was pretty good, but I want to say, I don't want to use the word bearish, but I'm not optimistic on the lower time frames over here. Okay, I would be leaning more towards downside than upside until we break these levels towards the upside, right? We will go ahead and take a look at the 4-hour really quickly, and I'll show you guys what I'll be looking for me to get optimistic. And I'm not optimistic right now. I will be looking towards these levels over here. We can essentially, from around 19,200, keep subtracting $1,000 and you're going to get major levels. That's how methodical even Bitcoin has been. So 16,200 is going to be a major, 18,200 is going to be a major level, right, that we've been talking about. After that, 17,200 is another major level. And then after that, 16,200 is another major level. After 16,200 though, things get a little bit more volatile. Not that $1,000 moves towards the downside are not volatile, but after that we're looking at around 15,700, I believe we talked about, and then 14,000, and yeah, it gets a little bit more fun after that, right? But these are the levels that we are more immediately concerned about. Towards the upside, of course, 20,000. Everybody knows about those levels. I have a huge range marked out over here, guys. More so because these are targets towards the upside if you use various technical analysis tools that we're not going to cover in this video. But I just want that entire zone cleared out with no wick, right? I don't want to see us shoot into that zone on the 4-hour, the 12-hour, the daily even, but us fail to actually close higher time frame candles in there. And for me, I'm looking for like 4-day candles to clear that level, and perhaps a weekly candle for me to be like, alright, cool, we have convincingly cleared out those highs, those major highs. Because I think we have like sporadically across different exchanges made new highs. At least 3 exchanges we made new highs, but like I said, I'm looking for candle closes, weekly candle closes, 4-day candle closes, convincingly into this zone over here. Because I'll be on vacation. I can't be staring at my chart, trying to nitpick whether I get in, get out, right? If I was trading here, right, all day, like I usually do as a full-time trader, then it'll be fine. But one, if I had a full-time job like many of you guys who are doing this or trying to learn how to do this while you guys have full-time jobs or other obligations, you don't get too nitpicky in this zone over here while Bitcoin is against a major area. Wait for the convincing trade. So right now, right here against this level, it's not convincing to be looking too long over here. Wait for the easier trade, guys. Now, quick recap before I go on over to lower time frames. 18.2k, okay, around 18.1.5ish, then after that 17.1.5ish, then after that 16.1.5ish. Those are the major levels. Now going on over to the 4-hour time frame, right, this is what probably a lot of you guys are looking at, and I know there's a bullish case to be made over here, and that's completely fine. I see the higher lows, guys. I see the symmetrical triangle. I see the possible ascending triangle that some of you guys might be drawing too. That's completely fine. That's completely fine. But you know when I'll get convinced? When we start closing candles above 19. Okay, even if we close about 19.6ish, 19.65ish, 2 4-hour candles, that's a really good start. Okay, that's a really good start. Then I'll be alright. I'm more optimistic than I'm pessimistic. Okay, pessimistic. If we start closing candles about 19.75ish, then I get really optimistic, and then we can start, sitting at the edge of our seats looking for the big up thrust. And I hope all of that happens while I have a few hours to trade, right? So if I'm sitting at my computer and I decide, you know what, I have nothing to do for the next like 5 or 6 hours, I'll be looking to trade that. If not, I'd rather wait for like multiple like 12-hour candle closes or daily candle closes if my vacation hasn't started yet before I get interested. Now we can go ahead and mark that out over here. That's the level I'm looking at, just for your reference. You can go ahead and mark a zone out actually above these wicks, right? That's towards the upside. But towards the downside, we have a similar story, right? We have these levels over here. Okay, if we close underneath this zone between 18.6k all the way down to this level over here, 18.2k, then we're looking for a move all the way down to 17.2k. If we lose 17.2k, we're looking for a move all the way down to 16.2k. If we lose 16.2k, we're looking for a move all the way down to 14.5k. And if we lose 14.5k, we're going to be getting into that zone that we marked out on the higher time frames. Remember guys, at the end of the day, the easiest trade is simply going to be waiting for the year to close, and we'll go ahead and take a quick look at that as well. I just want to take a quick look at the Ichimoku on the 4-hour time frame, because that may give us a better idea as to what's going on over here on this consolidation. And interestingly, this blue box, or rather this green box that we marked out, does line up with the cloud as well as the Kijun. I'm going to hide a horizontal, so you're going to see the Kijun is coming in right over there at 18.2k, top of the cloud coming in over there at the, essentially pretty much at the top. Yeah, it is actually right over here at the top of our box, right? This is what I mean guys by the Ichimoku does so much of the work for you. All this technical analysis that I did, right, the Ichimoku pretty much has it covered for you. You didn't have to mark any of the lines. All right, and let's wrap up very quickly with a quick look at the yearly time frame, essentially a quick reminder to all of you as to what we're looking for. Well, we're looking for the yearly to close above this level over here. We have only 24 days to go, and this level is coming all the way down at $14,000. So as long as Bitcoin closes the year above this level, things are going to look extremely good. Now, a lot can happen in 24 days, so we want to be a little bit more patient before we start celebrating. However, if we do close above this level, and if we can follow up the next month by taking out this high over here, oof, then we have some really interesting things to talk about. So I'm going to wrap up this video here, guys. This video has already been around 30 minutes or so long. And hey, I hope you guys have had a terrific start to your week. I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, do the mango way, do the stress-free way. Ciao.